Okay, so as we're talking here about the muscular system, we're going to be talking about how the muscles pull on the bones. And to do that, we need to talk about this thing called fascicle organization. Now, what I'd like to remind you of right now is what a fascicle is. And so I'm taking you back to the last chapter where we talked about this. Okay, and what you hopefully remember is that the myofiber is the muscle cell, and that a fascicle is going to be a bundle of those cells. They're bundled up together and wrapped up with connective tissue. And that to get an entire muscle, the thing that we see, okay, is going to be bundles of fascicles that are wrapped up in this epimysium connective tissue. Now, here's a muscle. Actually, let me switch to the full screen. Okay, so here's a muscle that I've pulled off of a model, and this muscle actually is the shoulder muscle. You can see it's a bit bigger than my shoulder muscle. Okay, but so this is the muscle right here, and so the lines that you are seeing along here are the fascicles. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to talk about how these fascicles are arranged. Okay, and so if you were to look at this, excuse me, you might see that some of the fascicles look like they go straight up and down, but some of them are at a bit of an angle coming in, okay, to a certain point. Now, this would be in contrast to this muscle. This is taken right here. It's my biceps brachii. Okay, so this muscle right up here. And if you look at the fascicles here, they're pretty much going straight up and down on either end. Whereas in comparison, this one, they're all coming to a common point here at the bottom. Okay? And so this is going to do different things for us. And so let's move now to a PowerPoint showing some of these different arrangements. Okay, so this is showing some different fascicle organizations. And so this muscle right here, where it starts off broad, kind of like a fan, but it's all going in to one point, is called a convergent muscle. Okay, a parallel muscle right here, okay, this is where it's going parallel to the long axis of that muscle, and on either end is a tendon. So there's a tendon on one end, there's a tendon on the other. Okay, so they feed directly into that tendon. Over here, clearly these muscle fascicles, these lines are going in a circle, so these are circular muscles. And then pinnate muscles are going to come into this tendon at an angle. Okay, so you can see these are coming in at an angle, and if we look here, here's the tendon, and again, these are coming in at two different angles. Okay, and so these are the different ways that fascicles can be arranged. Now, why is this important? What does this do for us? Okay, and I'm going to switch back to the larger screen. Okay, so let's take for a minute the shoulder muscle. Okay, and if you remember this joint, we can do a wide variety of movements. So we can do circumduction, we can do abduction, adduction, we can do flexion, we can do extension, okay, or hyperextension. And so this muscle, because there are fascicles pointing in different directions, it's attached to the humerus, okay, and so it can pull on it in different ways. So let's say we want to flex. Well, these right up here are going to be the ones contracting and pulling that bone forward. Now let's say we want to abduct. Well, it's going to be these pulling across, so abduction. And then hyperextension, we may have the ones pulling back. In circumduction, we're going to be rotating through them. We might pull the front ones, the side ones, the back ones. Okay, and so what this type of arrangement does is it gives us greater different types of joint movements. Now this one right here, it contracts. All of the fibers are going in the same direction, so it contracts one way. But because it's directly pulling on this tendon on either end, then that contraction is going to be very powerful in that one direction. So that's what parallel muscles do for us. Now circular muscles, you can imagine, there's a circular muscle right around the mouth, so you contract it. Okay, the same with your eyes. There's circular muscles right around your eyes, and you contract it. All right, so these are the different types of movements that we get because of the way the fascicles are arranged. Pinnate muscles, and just to switch back here, so as a reminder, these are the pinnate muscles. They're going to pull on those tendons, but because they're at an angle, the contraction is not going to be as strong for pinnate muscles as it is for parallel muscles. Okay, so if we go here, all right, to our notes packet, this here fascicle organization, remind yourself what a fascicle is and what it means to be organized. It's the direction that those fascicles are pointing along that muscle. Okay, these are the 4 different types, and so given what we've just talked about, feel free to replay it. Describe what does parallel organization look like. And then here over in characteristics, you should be putting what is the type of contraction that this gives you. How does a convergent muscle contract? Remember, that gives you the versatility in movement, whereas parallel gives you a strong contraction in that one direction. Okay, so those are the sorts of things to put in characteristics. Okay, and so again, these are the different types of muscles and fascicle organizations.